All right. Hello to each and every one of you that is tuning in to me right now. I'm the host of the Larry Reid Live that comes on every Monday. Actually, tomorrow I'm supposed to come back to the Monday night shows, but I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll see. Maybe I will go live at the same time. I normally come on at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays to just say hey or something or talk about something. I don't know. I may do that. I may not. But I still feel like I went to the downstairs in the studio and I sat in my chair just to see what I felt. And I still feel like I need to wait before I start coming back on Monday night. So I may not be back tomorrow night. I'll let you know. But just so you can know, when I come back, text right now, Larry Reid Live with no spaces to 33222. Now, let me say this to you. Thank you so much for all of the help that you guys give with hitting like and hitting share. Every time you hit like and you hit share for content creators and media outlets like myself, it helps us do what it is that we do. We cannot do what we do and we cannot be who we are without you guys that are clicking like, hitting share, talking about the platform everywhere you go. Um, we I wouldn't be. I built this media outlet just on me sitting in front of the camera and talking, and now this outlet has influence and power. We work with movie studios, with artists, because I built a media outlet. Now that brings me to what I want to talk about, because I think some of you guys, especially church people, don't understand the world of media. And you really do not understand how to deal with media. When you have a situation that comes up in the media, you don't always need to open up your mouth, i.e., Kirk Franklin and his baby mama, Shawn Ewing. Let me tell you the mistake that they made so that you don't make the same mistake. In the world of media, in this business that we are in, when a story breaks, now on my platform, it has to be already public. That means somebody talking about it somewhere already. But in a lot of these outlets, it can be your private situation that somebody gave to media, like TMZ. I know they operate like that. Shade Room, and some of the rest of them, they operate to where if your it could be private between you and one other person, but because that person shared it with them, they can break the story. Well, I don't operate like that. That's not how I operate. That don't make me better than them. It just make me different than them. But anyway, in media, once the information becomes public or it starts trending or being talked about, we're going to talk about it until the wheels fall off, till another story comes that's better than your story, or until your story no longer is trending and there's no more updates concerning your story. But as long as your story is trending and people are talking about it, you're doing interviews, Tamron Hall, you're getting live on the internet, Curtis Franklin, you're sitting down with broadcasters, Shawn Ewing, you literally, not only do you make the story live longer, but you also give verification to any accusation and significance to it. Damn! Now, I think most of these folk probably got people around them that come out of the church world who aspire to be real media and probably ain't got no training, or they're only one dimensional and really don't understand the media of today. Now, I don't care who tell you that gossip blogs or vloggers or people on the internet don't matter, because that's a whole lie. It may happen when I hang up right now. When I get off my phone, I get phone calls from whole journalists who went to school. Now, I ain't no journalist, I'm a commentator. Whole journalists that went to school, whole multi-billion-dollar companies like Fox who call and ask for our receipts, and then they do our stories. If you don't believe me, ask Baby Jakes, ask some of these other pastors that I have done. It become whole court cases and things of that nature. We are the future. Let me just make that real clear for all you out there that are journalists that have like to talk sideways when it comes to commentators and when it comes to bloggers. We're the voice of the people. We ask questions. We ain't in the bed with artists and with pastors and preachers. We stand out on our own, and the people has brought us to where we are. So we don't have to not say or have to say because it's our whole platform and we of the people. So we're the future. And we running this thing. I don't know if y'all can tell. What we say matter. And folk get scared when we get to talking. Now, some of us out here have ill intent. Some of us are mean. And some of us make up stories and lie. But that ain't Larry Reid. But I'm talking about Larry lie. I'm speaking for me now. Let me tell you where Kirk Franklin and Shawn Ewing, Ewing went wrong. You have Kerrion that comes up and says, first of all, he drops audio. And in this audio, he's trying to prove that my daddy is a person opposite than what y'all know out here in these streets. Y'all only see the broken, I'm tired of religion, we need to embrace people and love everybody, Kirk Franklin. The talented, wonderful Kirk Franklin that we love. Absolutely, I got all his music. But y'all don't know. Some of y'all didn't even know that Kirk Franklin had a Kerrion. Didn't even know he had that child. Some of y'all did not even come to your mind that Kirk could cuss. You did not know that there was a cussing Curtis down in Kirk Franklin's soul. Imagine me being free, cussing you totally. I mean, just will cuss you out if you hit the wrong button. You just did not know. I know you did not know. You didn't know. And that was the shock value of what Kerrion dropped. Most of y'all turned it into a cussing Christian conversation. Larry Reid did not. He turned it into how a father is talking to his son that allegedly has some mental problems. That didn't sound like nobody that's been in years of therapy and years of counseling like Shawn Ewing and Kirk Franklin want us to believe. Because y'all ain't learned. I said y'all ain't learned if that's how you going to handle somebody like that. I also made the conversation about the fact Kerrion took what was in prophecies and put it out there in the publications. Bob, what is you doing? This is how your daddy make money and got to take care of Tammy and the rest of them kids. Tammy, baby, and the ones they had together. What is you doing? You can't do that. So that's what I talked about. Both of them wrong. I still stand by that. Both BOFE, both of them is wrong. Point blank and the period. That could have went, because all the vloggers picked it up and left. But I don't know. Who's y'all PR and publicists and stuff? Why did y'all get on? The next thing you know, here is Cussing Curtis. Gets up on Beyonce's internet and begins and begin to explain himself what happened, which really wasn't even an apology, but y'all call it an apology, so we're just gonna go with that. He gets up there and says what he says. At that moment, because the way I reported was that the audio was allegedly Kirk Franklin. We didn't even know. Now, of course, we knew his voice, but he could have just not said nothing. He could have not verified it or anything. But because the people in his world made him feel like that this thing was really big, he made it big. I want y'all to get that. Kirk Franklin made this story big. Then on top of that, then the baby mama, she made it big just like her hair, made the story big. And she gave some cues that I caught. She started talking about, this sexual allegations and how it's past the statute of limitations. And I'm saying, now, wait, just 1 minute. And somebody had told me about it, but I didn't want to put it in my commentary that I've done because I didn't see it with my eyeballs. But the day I seen that part with my eyeballs, and it was a question. See, I work in media. This was a question that was already prepared in the interviewer's mind to ask so that she can address this. Now, maybe you guys that are watching me don't understand how that works. But we do that in the business. That was a question that she asked for the purpose of her clearing the possibility of a rumor leaking about sexual allegations and canceling Kirk. Go watch it on my IG. I put just that clip, 2-minute clip up there of her addressing that. That line of question didn't even go with what they tried to marry it to what she do and her job. But why was all of that important? So that we can believe the viewpoint that she's given us to have before we find out what Kerrion is accusing his father of doing, allegedly. Kerrion didn't leak the audio as far as we know. Who knows? He could have made up an email and sent it over there to Armand Wiggins to do it and make like it's somebody else. But I do know that it was actually another person, so I know he didn't do that. But the point, what I'm saying is, they already knew what he had been alleged. I knew, and you knew if you watched his IG since 2016, that he had been molested as a child by a preacher. So these things were already out here, but they had never had this much life until Kirk Franklin and Shawn Ewing done these interviews, and now it made Kerrion's story, his gripe that he's had all these years, validated, and now before the masses, to where now it's on media sites like Fox. It was on Wendy Williams on Friday about the whole cussing ordeal. Now, probably this molestation ordeal, this claim, is probably, unless he got some allies somewhere and some loan money, these other outlets are going to pick that up. They are going to pick that up because it is, in their eyes, a juicy, hot topic. And it's another time for the media, secular media, to just punch the church in the gut. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? I'm out here hollering in the white folk neighborhood. Back there. So let me tell y'all something. Now, this is the thing that we have with Bishop Greg Davis and that little girl that talked about the baby that died that she had on him. This is what we were talking about a week before that story came out on how to deal with media. No, it had to be a preacher that told Kirk Franklin to go out there and talk in front of the camera. A preacher stuck in yesteryear on how to deal with stuff, and not a preacher in the future on how to deal with stuff. I would have told him, nigga, don't you do that. Don't you say a thing. Don't get down. Don't get none of that. No kind of validation. Ignore. It's going to disappear. But it was Kirk's video. Overnight, 1 million views. And that's just in one spot. But it went everywhere. And that made the story large. Do not make this. I said this on the platform when I was with Greg Davis. And then right after that, his stuff came up. 2 things you don't never want to do. Give life to a story using your platform. Don't repeat what somebody else is talking about you about because you make it significant. That's number 1. Number 2, if you have to talk, don't lie. Don't lie. Now, sometimes you can lie and get away, especially no evidence. But for the sake of this possibility, some evidence, you didn't know you were being recorded. You did not know that they were saving that audio or that text message. Don't tell no lies. And that's what Bishop Greg Davis did when I called him and said, look, this girl saying that you're the father of her baby that just died. He said, yep, Reid, it's true. So then I got out here and I gave my opinion on the situation and Greg's character as opposed to the girl's character who blocked me and ran away from me and wouldn't have the conversation with me when she the one that put the whole story out and out at Greg Davis. In that situation, in my opinion, I saw Greg Davis as having the proper character, even in the wrong, and I saw her and having an ulterior motive. And that's the narrative that went out. That story was dead in 48 hours. You know why? Number 1 was that Greg told the truth. And so as a result, it died. That's the universe. If you don't believe in God, you believe in the system that the universe is, that it's in a circular motion and everything you do affects what's coming and what's going. He told the truth. So as a result, Everything worked out in this favor, and we ain't heard nothing else about it. Lord Jesus. Sharon, Larry is Azaria, hope I spelled that right, accused you of this type of thing, and you know it's not true, knowing that it could get out and your background, and people may believe it just based on that. You would go off on her. Privately, I wouldn't get on my platform that Azaria does not have and speak concerning that. I wouldn't do that. That don't make no sense. It does not make any sense. If Azaria did that today or like in this time, I can see where I may have to speak of it. But if Azaria is 30-something years old and been out of my house and out of my care for 15, 20 years, and she comes with that, folk done forgot about her. My work is all around the world, and I got all these fans everywhere. It don't make sense for me to talk about it. It does not. Listen to what I'm saying. I don't know everything, but I know this here. This here, what I'm saying, is how you need to handle it. I'm looking at there's a vlogger that has a show on WeTV now, T.S. Madison. And one thing T.S. Madison used to always do is somebody talk about her, she about to make them famous. She gonna go live and drag them, and people gonna go see who she talking about. And the first thing them white folk at that station told them, you know, it's usually white folk and black folk be the talent, said, look, you can't do that no more. It's unprofessional and it's not smart to do. And you lift the reputation of the other person. This is exactly what Kirk Franklin did and what Shawn Ewing did. Because the reality is this. This is the reality. Now, I believe personally that something is being cloaked and hid by the family. Rightfully so, because probably sensitive and involves somebody else, and they don't want to say names. And I happen to agree with that kind of moving, because this could have happened 20, 30 years ago, and that person could be rehabilitated, never done it again. It was just a one-time thing and went on about their business. The flip side is that person could have been a serial molester and done it more than just the one person, because you guys know I believe that you pay attention to people's patterns and not just what they do on one office. And also the reality is that Kerrion, being that he has these mental issues, he could be totally making up a lie. There's so many reasons that I would not have done an interview and spoke publicly. Folks didn't know Kerrion existed. They didn't know he existed. You went out there running your lip, flapping your gums. And as a result, now we got all this out here. And we all going to talk about it. And because it's in the media. And that's what media does. It's business. Let me look now. All right, let me look on what y'all saying. Somebody said Betty lying. Could be. Okay. I never knew he had a son. See that? Let me tell you something. Now, I'll tell you when I'm not an expert on something. But I'll sure let you know. Y'all know I am. I'll let you know when I know what I'm talking about. This here? This right here? I know it just like I know my lips big. I'm trying to tell you. I know about this right here. This right here was handled dumb. Kerrion wins. Go to his page. I've been that boy IG since Jesus was a baby. I ain't never seen no views, no likes, no interaction on that IG page like this here. Kerrion wins. Because you were stupid. You were dumb. And because you were dumb, Kerrion wins. Now, there's going to be some people who are not going to ever look at Kirk Franklin the same way. Whether this is a lie or the truth. Because lies can ruin people's lives now. That's almost a tongue twister. Lies can ruin people's lives now. It could be a whole lie. Especially we know since 8 years old, he was on porn. 4 years old, he got adopted by a 64-year-old lady. Got in porn at 8 years old. And then he said he was very promiscuous and all that stuff. He told Oprah. So we already know that sexual deviance was already there. And he had Kerrion when he was 17. Come on now. It's not far-fetched. But that may not be the truth. You get what I'm saying? See? Lies can ruin people alive. And he gave life to that drama. Oh, Lord Jesus. Who was Kirk signed with? Wait a minute, that's Phil Thornton there. RCA and For Your Souls together. They got a distribution thing, I think. So let me feel what it said, bruh, don't say. That didn't make no sense. It was Raptor time. It was Raptor time. It was. It was. So when we sit down watching that OWN program, the Easter program with Kiara Sheard, and congratulations to our bishop, Clark, Sister Bishop. He get up there wiggling his hips and humping the air and grabbing his crotch. You know, cause we dragged him for that when he first came out, touching himself. We're gonna be looking like, Curtis, is there something you would like to tell us? Why is you groping thyself? Huh? In front of all of us is inappropriate for a preacher. What you doing? You know. Well, no, he did not tell them a pastor molested them. He said a preacher. More these folk don't be listening worth 2 cents. Y'all couldn't do my business. One about be trusting your platform because your info always wrong because your ears don't work. Well, God bless each and every one of y'all. Somebody said, what about Brandon Porter with a little bit of votes? Y'all do know, I'm going to tell y'all this. Y'all do know when I was going live talking about that stuff, my whole purpose was to push votes to Sheard because I felt like he was God's pick. And turn them away from Porter because in my opinion, he was a waste of candidate slot. Not saying he a bad person. I don't know him, but I just watch how he move on the internet. Church of God in Christ don't need that at the head or in position 2 or 3. Now one of them. And I'm not coaching. I'm on the outside. I only know coaching really because of me doing this job, and they always had drama to kick up around them. I know that won't go. That won't the choice. God's smarter than that. I know that. And he could be a great man, but he's done in his position. That's just like me trying to go in the 4 walls of a church and pastor. Now, I don't fit. Now I got the word in my mouth, prophecy and all this stuff, and the power gifts and things of that nature, the gifts of utterance and revelation. I got all them in full operation. But I'm going to stand in the holy place and mess around and say hell or some other cuss word. And that don't belong in the pulpit. Hell and damn is a cuss word here in America, not other places. But still, in our culture, that would be inappropriate for the pulpit. So I ain't got no business in nobody's pulpit every single Sunday as a pastor. Now I go in there preaching revival. Like I got preached in my mentor church last year, I think it was, year before last. I go give you a word and preach. But as a traditional pastor, I don't fit. Now this new school pastor, now see, I've got people now that I'm pastoring cyberly who understand who I am. I ain't gotta be fake. I can say all the fake cuss words and say whatever I gotta say, and they know that there, that's my man of God. That there is real, and that's what I want lead me. I don't fit until the church reform. Larry not coming back to the pulpit as a pastor like that, because that's not who I am, and I'm not doing that. Huh? All right, I'm gonna let y'all go. And thank y'all so very much for listening to me rant. I'm walking, trying to get it off. I hope you are still on the Build Your Immune System Health Challenge and doing 10,000 steps a day. The Cora 19, 20, and 21 is out here in these streets. Make sure you build up for it, because most of us are going to get it, except God give us a miracle. All right. See ya. Good darn bye.